So all day, every day, I just have people coming in, and everybody's got to share their story, and they're all really awful and tragic. But I got one story I liked. Right after the hurricane, there's nobody has power, nobody has internet, nobody has cell phone service, and this guy's up in the mountains, and he's got no communication with anything, but there's just trees all over his road, and so he pulls out the chainsaw and he just starts hacking away, and he figures at some point somebody's going to come up the road and he'll meet him there. And day 3, he's still chopping, doesn't see anybody. End of the long day of chopping wood, he sits down in his backyard, pours himself a tall glass of whiskey, sits next to his wife, and all of a sudden he hears and there's a helicopter right above him in his yard, right above his yard. And all of a sudden his phone, which has been dead for 3 days, rings. And he answers and he says, "Hello?" He says, "Yeah, is Margaret there?" And he goes, "Yeah, Margaret's sitting right next to me." He says, "Okay, great. Her family has hired us to look for her and make sure she's okay during this disaster. We're currently talking to you through Bluetooth right now. Once we leave, you won't have cell phone service anymore, but we see that you're blocked in, and we're going to get some people, get you out of there." And the helicopter goes away. And he turns to his wife and says, "We've been married 40 years, and they didn't even mention me." Family paid to look for her. Screw the husband.
I mean, they didn't put a hit out on him.
No, but they didn't really care if he was there or not.
Yeah.
They didn't say, "Oh, also, are you okay?" or anything.
Yeah.
They were just like, "Margaret's fine."
"Oh, Bill, how's Margaret?"
Yeah,
they were
Nope, they were just like, "See ya, Margaret's fine, later."
Yeah.
Oh, so good. That's going to be an awkward Thanksgiving, probably.
I'm guessing it's not going to be the first.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk. I put some strings on.
That train is off the tracks.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You were listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is November 3rd, 2024, and this is episode 725. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we're going to discuss a 1 and 2 week of Pacers basketball with games against Orlando, Boston, and New Orleans. Joining me this show are 2 of our 3 analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. From Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks in the crappy jingles. It's the Achilles Whisperer, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? This week I'd like to shout out Jason, who is usually here, so I don't have to go first.
Yeah, shout out to Jason.
Shout out to preparedness.
That's right. Yes. Also, democracy. Go vote. Yeah, this is fun. Sure.
Yay!
It's almost over.
I got some early voting in this past week.
Yeah.
Good.
And I'll give a tip if you are looking to vote early. If you come with somebody who's on crutches, they let you skip almost all the line.
Ooh.
So,
Wait, you have to go someplace to vote?
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
Do you get to vote from... You have to get to mail it in?
From the comfort of my home, buddy.
Oh, yeah. No, we assume those are all rigged, I think? I don't remember.
When is it like American Idol and I just type in a button on my phone? That's what I want.
You know, you can do absentee.
2028, baby.
You can do an absentee ballot if you aren't going to be at home at the election, but otherwise, there's no like regular mail-in voting.
I mean, they did make me sign the envelope, so I mean, I don't know how it could be any higher security than that.
Yeah. Well, coming to you from apparently the land of trustworthy people, Tacoma, Washington.
Trusting,
out
at
west.
least.
Yes.
Slight difference.
I was trying to frame it in a nice way, but from the land of naivety, Tacoma, Washington, out west. It's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? Shouting out Philadelphia reporters.
Yeah.
Apparently, Embiid is maybe going to murder one. So, should be interesting.
I look forward to hearing that story as we get into this podcast. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Well, apparently, Philly reporters, being classy as they are, question Embiid's commitment to staying in shape, working hard, professionalism, by referencing his dead son and brother.
Oh.
And that did not go well.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Seems like it might have gone a little too far with that.
Embiid certainly thought so.
Yeah.
So. They had to break those guys up, and it probably doesn't matter what the media says to you. You're not allowed to touch them. So he's probably going to get suspended. But honestly, he didn't want to play anyway. So
he was already planning to have those games off anyway.
This is a win.
Well, he's coming after you next, Harper.
I know.
Well,
I live in Asheville. My address is.
So, yeah, come on out here, and we have no water or.
You'll throw some turbid water at him and kill him.
You could have him bring the batteries that they throw at him, because you could probably
power the whole city.
Yeah.
Oh, Philly.
Yeah. All right, team. Well, before we get into the show, I did want to remind you, as we do every week, that we have a way for you to help us financially, to support us. And you can do that by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. If you sign up, there are some things that you'll get, some swag mailed out to you, and access to our Slack, where we post about what's going on in the Pacers world, and elsewhere as well, but what's going on in the Pacers world. You get access to that news a little. You get access to the bad news faster. So if that's what you're looking for.
Well, and you also have intimate access to discussions with us, right? I mean, that's what you're paying for.
Well, here's the thing. You get a private channel with Coulson for the intimate discussions. I don't want to see that stuff.
That's right. There are private channels. Right.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not I'm not here to censor people, but I don't want to see it. You know? So to each their own.
Whatever happens in my DMs stays in my DMs.
Yeah.
I think Joey just threw up in his mouth.
Yeah.
He choked it down though, like a gentleman.
He did. like a podcast host champ.
Well, to cleanse my palate, let's talk about the Pacers game in Orlando. So, Monday, October 28th, Pacers head to Orlando to play the Kia Center, take on the Magi, and they lose this one in dramatic fashion, 119-115. Had a nice little lead there late in the game, and did not have a lead at the final buzzer. From our starters, everybody in double digits. In fact, 6 people total. The 5 starters and Obi Toppin. But it turns out the scorers in this league, I think we might have talked about this. Scorers in the league just look at the Pacers, put a nice big red circle on the calendar, and say,
and then put a 4 or a 5 in front of it.
In this case, a 5. Halabekera goes off for 50 and 13 rebounds. Why not?
And 9 assists.
Sure. Yeah, he was one off from a 50-point triple-double. Apparently, Jalen Suggs also circled us on the calendar. He got 25. And Wendell Carter Jr. was like, let me get in on this double-double action. Ends with 11 and 10. So, that one got away from us. I think notably, we can get into this a little bit later, but Corey Joseph and Goga Batadze, DNPs from this game.
I thought it would be most of our Thursday show talking about that.
What are they afraid of?
Yes. Goga was hurt, it looks like, but...
Was he, though?
Yeah, sure. Well, and the previous game, Paul George did not play.
Right.
Just saying. Also, we lost both those games, but whatever. I guess I don't know what point I'm trying to make. Then, later on in the week, Wednesday, October 30th, back at home, Pacers taking on the Boston Celtics in a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. And Pacers, boy, this one was wild. Pacers took this game was back and forth, took a lead, I thought an insurmountable lead into the end of the game, and
was it 20? Was it 26 points we were up by in the third?
Yeah, it was in the 20s.
Yeah,
and we took. They just whittled it away and actually took the lead, and we got it back, forced it to overtime, and hey, we got that dub against a title contender.
I mean, it mirrored every game we played them in the playoffs, where we were up down the stretch and then just choked it away.
Yeah.
But this one we got in
14
overtime.
in the fourth. Yeah.
I mean, the good news is we held Jason Tatum to 37 points.
That's not 40.
Yeah, I know. It kept him below the 4 or 5 number.
It is not. But Benedict Mathen responded with 30 of his own off the bench.
The game of his career. He looked fantastic.
Yeah. He was pretty good. Siakam had 29. Halliburton had 17.
Siakam also had the game-winning three-pointer.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And last game of the week, Friday evening, November 1st, post-Halloween, Pacers travel to New Orleans, take on the Pelicans, and lose in a different fashion, 125 to 118. They lost a hold on this game, midway through the fourth, and kind of slipped away. And at this point, we can talk a little bit about some injuries that we've come up against from this week. Colson, as our Achilles whisperer, you want to discuss any injuries that are up in your field this week?
Yeah, I was pretty sure that I called the Achilles on James Wiseman. I did not see this one coming from Isaiah Jackson. Basically, both our backup centers are now out for extended periods of time. Usually that's for a full season, but who knows with medicine, right?
Doctors.
Yeah, I'm guessing 9 to 12 months.
Yeah, so we got apparently James Wiseman had successful surgery to reattach parts of his body to other parts of him, so that's good. I'm assuming Isaiah Jackson will be quickly on that same train. We also have Neesmith and Nemhard out with lower body injuries. Those are day to day, but suddenly, two starters and both backup big men are out. I don't know what we're going to do long term without a backup center. I guess Siakam's going to play a lot of backup minutes at center. Jarris Walker's going to play some big minutes. And the rookie Enrique Friedman, is that his name? Might start seeing some real time. This is a concern for the entire season going forward. We're terrible at rebounding and terrible at paint defense, and two guys that were actually pretty decent at it. I mean, Isaiah Jackson he's given you 5 or 6 boards off the bench in limited minutes, really going after the glass, doing his part, and now he's done. So bad news.
Yeah.
Colson, yeah. So, well, Phil Harper, what do you feel about prospects at the big spots going forward? Do you? I guess to add, do we need to pick up somebody in trade or free agency to fill these spots? Because I mean, yeah, we just don't have people that like play that position.
Yep.
What about Sabonis? Sabonis is out there, right?
Sabonis is out there like in free agency?
Maybe he does he play basketball pro bono by chance?
Yeah. If only, huh?
Off days,
He's got a lesser known younger brother or something that we can pick off. Yeah, the other problem here is Miles Turner had just gotten back from his ankle injury.
Yeah.
So he's got to be a little bit ginger out there making sure he doesn't hurt himself because he's the only center on the roster all of a sudden. Yeah, it's likely that we'll try and pick somebody up to, just plug the hole and be able to play some minutes. We'll definitely be playing some small ball lineups to compensate with Obi Toppin. And, I don't know. It's tough to lose those guys, especially if, Neesmith and Nembhard are out for an extended period. This is tough. I mean, even just that Pelicans game, it seemed like part of what went wrong there is we just kind of ran out of gas as the game went on.
Yeah.
With all those injuries piling up on us. So
there was a 12-1 run. We were up, 7 points, and they went on a 12-1 run with, down the stretch.
We started out the game. It looked like we were just going to run them off the court.
Mm-hmm. They had to call a timeout. Coach had to call a timeout real early on. The beginning of the game and the beginning of the second quarter as well. This was you were talking about Halloween trick or treat. Like we were, just looked amazing and unstoppable, and like we were going to run away with the game. And then they climbed their way back into it, and then took the lead. And then we went out and did it again and got way up. And then they came back, and then, I thought we had this game under control, and they win at the end. So Zion is incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
4-point double.
He's no Paolo Banchero, who is just absolute truth. Who not only just bullies his way to the basket whenever he wants, by starting above the 3-point line, but also just cans 3-pointers as well. I think he hit 3 or 4 of them in that 50-point game.
That's 1 for 9.
So it's hard to play defense on a guy that can do all those things.
Second youngest player to 50, 10, and 5 it.
Who is the other one? Do we know?
I'll give you one guess.
Shaquille O'Neal.
No.
Kevin Garnett.
It was LeBron.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna guess Kobe.
I was gonna guess. Just anybody but LeBron probably. We would have been here a while. You gave me one guess.
I thought he was going after. You was going
Wilt,
for Brownie.
Kareem.
Yeah, no, he was incredibly good. Obviously we're having trouble shutting some guys down. It was interesting in the Pelicans game. We saw maybe our first taste of the Jarris Walker trying to shut down a scorer experiment against Brandon Ingram, and probably learned some things. But you got to start throwing him out there and getting him some reps. So that's encouraging that you can go out there and face these incredible scorers because Brandon Ingram can absolutely fill it up. He ends up 10 of 25 on the night, which, was less efficient than Zion Williamson's 14 of 20. And Paolo Banchero also went to the line 22 times, which didn't help.
The Pelicans game, they were down C.J. McConnell and one of their other starters, and Hawkins just completely destroyed us. I was like, what's happening? I've never heard of this guy. But if you've got Ingram and Zion, you're not really that injury depleted. Those guys are very, very good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a better week. Granted, we beat Boston, which is a huge deal. We've given them their only loss this season. That felt good. But even if we'd lost that game, the team looks like it's trying harder. The rebounding disadvantage was less than it was the previous week. We still can't stop elite players defensively at all. But we're trying different things. I saw us throwing some 2-3 zone out there occasionally. And I thought the effort was there. And we were in all of these games against really quality teams. I mean, all three of these teams are, going to make the playoffs. So, unless something happens. But I guess Paolo did go out with an injury and has been out since his 50-point game. But I don't know. Yeah. I feel more optimistic than I did the previous week. Even though we were 1-2, it felt like we were fighting. I was proud of the guys. They were entertaining games, stuff like that.
Maybe we talk about this a little bit later, maybe next show. But I mean, just briefly, Siakam and Halliburton are, I don't think both of them, not playing to level of expectation.
I don't know what you want. Siakam looks pretty good to me. He still looks like a pretty good bucket. He's leading our team in rebounds. He's shooting like 50% from the range and like over 50% from the floor. He's not been an all-star, but he's kind of doing pretty much everything. He's also averaging over 5 assists a game. It's hard for me to knock Siakam too bad. Yes, do you want him to be picking the team up and carrying them, but he also hit the two biggest shots in the Boston game to end that in overtime. I feel like he's the closest thing we have to a bucket right now, and to a rebound. But Halliburton he's shooting 20% from the range, and he's shooting 9 times a game. He needs to get his shooting touch back and his assist touch back.
Well, I would argue that they both played quite a bit better this week. Halliburton threw up
I agree.
3 double-doubles this week.
I agree.
He broke double digits.
One was almost a triple, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he was 17 and 12 in the Boston game. He was 19 and 10 in the Magic game, and didn't really flirt with a triple-double in any of those. But, a double-double again in the Pelicans game.
Yeah, he is looking better for sure.
And, Siakam had 26 against the Magic. He had 29 against the Celtics. So, I would argue those guys have done something to answer the bell in that regard. We put ourselves in positions to win these games. We just didn't close out very well in any of these. Against the Magic, we had a 22-3 run or something in the second half, and we're in a position where we could have put them away, but we just failed to shut the door and get outscored by 9 in the last frame. Against Boston, it looked like we were going to run away with it and let them outscore us by 14 in the fourth quarter before doing just enough to eke that one out with Pascal's three-pointer. And the injuries are the injuries, but same thing in New Orleans. It looked like rebounding and free throws were going to lose us that Celtics game, and it definitely lost us the other 2 games. So it's clear that we're going to be talking about rebounding and putting guys on the line, all this season. It's frustrating to see the parade to the free throw line and our inability to get a free throw or a stop in crunch time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I do. If you look at the numbers, I think we were closer on these games. We sort of closed the gap on rebounding, but not down the stretch, not key rebounds that we needed, And you're right. Is anybody shooting well when we get to the free throw line? I'm just assuming they're going to go one of two. Like, everybody is missing.
What is up with that?
I don't know. Like, we just stopped practicing free throws in the off season. We're just
Benny.
bad at that. Yeah.
Benny was 10 of 11.
Right.
He listened to Jason and did what he was supposed to do and got to the line.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that Boston game was maybe the game of his career. He was fantastic. If I believe, I'm not looking at it right now, but he had 10 rebounds in that. A couple assists, a couple of steals.
Yeah.
Who, Mather?
Yeah.
He had 11 boards, 4 assists, 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
To go with this 30 points. Yeah. Excellent effort. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets the start against the Pelicans. Yeah. We're just gonna have to have this, him step up, particularly because, a lot of our bench might be playing in the starting lineup for a while. I think Jarris Walker is going to see a lot more time. We'll let him. He might be our new backup power forward, and Obi Toppin moving to backup center.
Yeah, he's our 8th guy right now.
Yeah. So we'll give him a lot of chances to be the shutdown defender.
And it may be that Halliburton and Siakam will. Yeah, maybe it'll be good for them to play some extended minutes for a little while, kind of get their mojo back. I mean, on the whole, I thought this team played with a lot more confidence this week. I mean, again, we just failed to close out games, but we looked like a confident team, right? We were stepping into shots and, working hard. Beating the defending champs is not nothing. That's for sure.
Right.
So, we lost 2 on the road. We won at home.
And had a chance on both of those road games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, arguably should have won them both. We were in a position to win those games. We just failed to close it out down the stretch.
But I mean, that's not what you want from a team that's got Eastern Conference playoff experience. Eastern Conference finals experience.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any easier this week. On Monday, today as you listen to this, we will be at Dallas. Then return home to get a rematch against the Magic. Hopefully we can take advantage of that and not give up 50 to anybody. Then we get to go to Charlotte. And that's a must-win road game for us, I think, if such a thing exists. Before rounding out the week at home versus the Knicks, another rematch against a team that whooped us early in the season here. So should be an interesting week of basketball. Hopefully Neesmith at least can get back and Nembhard is back to 100%. But we're gonna be shuffling the rotation a little bit. It looks like so.
Well, that Knicks game is the only game where we've been just blown out and embarrassed this season so far. So we owe them one.
Indeed, we do.
All right,
Joe, what do you think? Are we going 2-1?
Here's the thing: is I always say the same thing, but this time I don't feel it in my heart, but I will say it. So we're gonna sweep.
You don't feel it in your heart, though.
Oh no, I can't close a game.
I'm gonna go 1-2.
Okay, there are 4 games though.
Oh, you just listed 4, huh?
Yep, Dallas, Orlando, Charlotte, New York.
Orlando. Okay, I missed the Orlando. I was just excited about the Dallas game. My buddy's a big Dallas fan, and we're gonna watch that. We'll have, something bet on it. We'll figure it out. So I started daydreaming when you mentioned that, I guess.
Bet some well water.
Yes, so the loser has to chug city water.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so let's go 2-2. We can do that. I like it.
I like it. I'll take 3-1.
Okay.
We got a couple teams. We got some some owners and beaten. We got a couple home games, a little home cooking.
I mean, I think that Doncic is probably not going to drop 50. But
What are you thinking, 60?
You
I'm
have
feeling like
to
this
get
is a
50 on the way to 60, right?
I think this is a Kyrie game. I think Kyrie is going to get 40.
40 and 20.
No, Luka will have like 27 or something like that. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
I guess I like your optimism.
I mean, their two big men are just, what is it, Lively and Gafford or whatever. Those guys are just going to feast. We got nobody to stop them. It's all going to be rebounds and dunks on us. It's going to be a long game.
You make a good point because we were a defensive stalwart before these guys went down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just unfortunate right when our paint defense was really coming into its own. Yeah.
Well, it definitely does not help to lose Jackson.
I mean, if we're going to get whooped on by Lively and Gafford, that doesn't bode well for our season.
Well, we'll see how it goes, but I'm predicting that.
I'm
And
not saying
40
it's a
out of
bad
Kyrie.
prediction. I'm just saying those guys aren't that good. I mean, they're fine. They're
They're
professional
active.
basketball players.
They're active.
Yeah.
We don't like that. We like guys that don't do a lot of stuff. If the guy on the other team isn't really interested in rebounding, we like playing those guys.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Daniel Tice's of the world.
That's right. Although I thought he whooped us. We could use him back, couldn't we?
The Pelicans, I'm sure we'll let him go soon.
Okay, good.
I think he's got I'm sure he's got a pretty poor taste in his mouth from Indiana at the moment. So
I mean, why? We paid him $8 million to just sit on the bench.
I think because he wanted to play basketball, and I mean,
We'll make it up to you, buddy.
yeah,
You can come back and play this year. It's plenty of time.
I mean,
Got
you're
minutes.
not wrong, but yeah, I think maybe in the pride area he was, a little bummed out.
Yeah. What was he? What do the kids play? Halo, Grand Theft Auto. What do the kids play? He was probably just sitting around playing video games for $8 million.
Well, as you taught me today, they play YouTube videos about Skibidi toilets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is what they do.
Yeah,
I don't think Daniel Tice is Gen Z though. I think he's closer to my age.
no, he can't be that old.
Guy plays a professional sport.
yeah.
Ouch.
All right, team. Well, we'll get back with you on Thursday. And if Old Man Colson remembers to show up for that recording, he can be there too. Until then, you can find us on social media. And by the way, we recorded this before the election, of course, so hoping all that went well. Shout out to free and fair elections.
Yay.
Until Thursday, you can hit us up on Twitter, if that has not been shuttered by now. Facebook.com/TheUndebeatable.
Yeah, are we on True Social? We need to hurry up and figure that out.
You're our social media manager, so
No wonder we're so good at social media.
well, you know what? Actually, yes, we are on the True Social, but the paper version. So
I do like to print things out.
well, and I've seen most of the letters you write they're cut out from other magazines and mailed out that way. So we're also on theundebeatables.com. There's also a contact form there. You can use that to send us a message. That should still be up. That one I'd bet that one will still be up as of the release of the show. And email should be good. Shout out at theundebeatables.com. And at the website /store is where our merch is.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sickleonard. Back in my day, we didn't have these skibidi-dibbity toilets. We just had basketball. We liked it. The party's over.
Well said.
Spot on.
I feel like you haven't been around like a grandparent.
Not enough.
No.
What was wrong with my impression, Joe?
I mean, the toilets were uphill, right? Like,
yeah.
In my day, at least.
Back in your day, toilets were uphill both ways.
Mm-hmm.